Disney Dreamlight Valley is an amazing game for countless reasons. From completing quests to spending time with your favourite Disney characters and so much more. One of my favourite activities in the game is decorating, and today I'm excited to share my top 10 tips for creating the perfect valley. If you're new here, my name is Kandru and I have over 600 hours in Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I'm also a very avid cozy gamer. If you're a regular viewer, you probably know that most of my YouTube videos feature speed decorating within the game. I often get questions in comments about how to improve your decorating, so today I'm sharing my top 10 tips to help you level up your decorating skills. Without further ado, let's dive in. My first tip, and arguably one of the most important, is to ensure that mining nodes remain accessible when decorating. I'll admit I was guilty of getting a little too excited with my designs early on, only to realise later that I had to remove and rearrange a lot of decorations just to mine for specific gems and materials. To avoid this, make sure you exit furniture mode whilst decorating to double check that any mining nodes in the area are still easy to access. Making sure things are accessible also applies to places such as wells and of course Olaf's home. My next tip is to add natural edges to borderless paths. As someone who's been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley since day one, I remember the days before we had the luxury of bordered pathways. Back then, we had to get creative and make the borderless paths look beautiful with what we had. Adding natural edges not only creates a more organic and curved illusion, but also enhances the look of cottagecore or rustic builds, giving your paths a charming, natural feel. Using items such as bushes and rocks can give the illusion of a natural pathway. You can achieve this look with bordered pathways as well, which tends to create a more polished appearance. However, I personally feel the effect works best with borderless paths for a more natural vibe. I usually reserve bordered pathways for my more refined builds, like city centres or town decorations, where a sleek, structured style works perfectly. Another great tip for paths is to use rocks instead of traditional pathways for a more natural look. You can either use the rocky terrain available within Scrooge's store when it pops up, or opt for the rocks found under the landscaping section. Depending on the biome you're working in, the grass might blend into or overpower the landscape rocks, but if that's the aesthetic you're going for, then go for it. Personally, I love using the rocky terrain option because it's so versatile. You can even place bushes on top to add extra depth and detail to your designs. Using the rocks this way allows you to create more whimsical and natural areas. However, remember to keep an eye on your item limit, as this will slowly increase it the more you place. This brings me to my next tip: use fences and pathways to your heart's content. One of the best things about Disney Dreamlight Valley's current design system is that fences and pathways do not count towards your total item limit. This means you can get as creative as you like, adding intricate pathways to connect areas or fencing to define spaces, without worrying about hitting the decorating cap or overloading your valley. Fences are fantastic for creating enclosed gardens, separating areas for different themes, or adding structures to your builds, while pathways help guide the flow of your valley and make it feel more cohesive. Whether you're working on a rustic cottagecore build or a polished town centre, pathways and fences are your best friends for enhancing the overall look. Don't hold back, experiment with patterns, layouts and materials to bring your vision to life. But just remember that fences are fences, so if you do place them down, you can't get through them, so make sure that you can work around them. Tip number 5 is don't feel limited to using only the landscaping options specific to each biome. For example, you don't have to stick to only using sunlit plateau bushes within sunlit plateau. Feel free to mix and match landscaping elements from different biomes to create a richer, more dynamic area. Combining various plants, flowers, and trees from multiple biomes adds depth and variety, preventing your landscape from looking flat or one-dimensional with just a single shade of green. The result will be a more vibrant and visually interesting environment. Another simple yet effective way to elevate your decorating is by incorporating food items into your designs. Food adds a lived-in vibe to your valley, making it feel more realistic and welcoming. Go ahead and cook up some dishes to display. I like to imagine the kind of food that would suit different scenarios, like picnic food for a picnic table or elegant dishes outside of Chez Remy's. It's a fun way to bring your space to life and add a touch of personality to your builds. This ties into my next tip: use dropped materials to make your valley feel more natural. I love placing snowballs around frosted heights to create the illusion of unfinished snowmen, or dropping sand in Dazzle Beach to mimic the natural sand piles formed by the wind. The possibilities are endless, so get creative and experiment with different dropped materials to add texture and realism to your landscape. Most of you are probably already familiar with this tip, but if you are new to the game, here's something that might surprise you. You can purchase extra furniture items from Scrooge. All you have to do is speak to him, select "I'd like to order some items," and then click on the furniture option. This gives you the chance to buy more of the items you've already unlocked in the game, which includes exclusive Star Path items too. This is a fantastic way to stock up on decor, especially if you're planning a big decorating session. I personally like to ensure that I have at least one of each furniture item in my inventory. That way, when I'm decorating, I can easily browse through all of the items that I have available, whether I'm going for a specific theme or just looking for that perfect finishing touch. It's a simple but effective way to make sure you're never limited by what's in your inventory whilst decorating your valley. The main reason I like to keep one of each piece of furniture available to me is because of my next tip, which is always have a visual reference. Before I dive into decorating, I like to place one of each item I'm considering for the area I'm working on. Doing this gives me a physical representation of the look I'm trying to achieve, which helps me visualize how everything will come together. It's a great way to experiment with different combinations of furniture and decor to see how well they will fit within the space. Once everything is laid out, I can quickly decide which pieces I want to keep by using the duplicate option to add more of what I like, or easily remove items that don't quite work. It allows me to adjust the layout before making any permanent decisions. This method helps avoid clutter and ensures a more streamlined decorating process, making it easier to tweak and perfect the design without feeling overwhelmed by choices. My final tip is to always get a better view of your build. I always make a habit of exiting furniture mode regularly to check how my design looks from my avatar's perspective. I even do this whilst recording my videos, though of course I do edit those parts out. By doing this, you get two different views of your build: the bird's eye view in furniture mode and the perspective from your avatar's eyes. Sometimes something might look great while you're in furniture mode, but once you step out of it, you might realise it doesn't work at all. So be sure to check your build frequently from both angles to make sure it looks just right. And that is a wrap on my top 10 tips for decorating in Disney Dreamlight Valley. I hope you found these suggestions helpful and that they inspire you to get creative with your own builds. If you have any tips of your own or questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. This will be my last video before Christmas, so I want to wish you all a wonderful holiday if you celebrate. I will be back after the festive period, as I'll be making sure to take a few days off to celebrate the season with my family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.